Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, it wasn't your fault. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, God does love you. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, loving yourself will become your superpower. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, when you were waiting, God was working. Dear younger self, what you didn't have then, you have now. Dear younger self, what you wanted then and didn't get, God knew the stories that you didn't hear. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, you were learning when you lost your way. Dear younger self, I'm glad you let go, even though you were afraid. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, I see you. Dear younger self, I am grateful for you. Dear younger self, I am here for you. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, you didn't need to put so much pressure on yourself. 90% of it wasn't even yours to deal with. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, the people you like then are people you don't remember now. Dear younger self, it's okay to not like someone. Dear younger self, the friends then grew up into their own person with their own interests. Dear younger self, the friend group rarely talks now. They grew up into their own person. Dear younger self, it's okay to spend time with yourself. I love you. Dear younger self, I'm glad you found your way home. I love you. Dear younger self, those struggles you went through led you to the person you are today. You overcame the struggles and many more. Dear younger self, don't make up fake scenarios that hurt you. Dear younger self, everything that made you different then will help you to stand out now. Dear younger self, the people you surround yourself with then is the person you are today. Dear younger self, you didn't have all the answers then, and now you still don't have all the answers, but you have more clarity. Dear younger self, the stress didn't solve the problems. It made it more difficult to focus on figuring out a solution. Dear younger self, some problems just don't get solved. I love you. Dear younger self, it's okay to have off days. Dear younger self, you didn't have to be 100% you all the time, and you still don't have to. Dear younger self, you were allowed to take breaks, and you still are. Dear younger self, you were allowed to focus on yourself, and you still are. Dear younger self, you are allowed to enjoy your days, and you still are. Dear younger self, you were allowed to feel your emotions, and you still are. Dear younger self, you were allowed to live, and you still are allowed to. Dear younger self, I love you. Dear younger self, you were strong and you still are. Dear younger self, I am proud of you. I love you. Dear younger self, life got better, and it's still getting better. I love you. Dear younger self, yes, your faith in God grew. Dear younger self, yes, you love life. Dear younger self, you were amazing and you still are. Dear younger self, I love you from your current self.